and to thank the INOU, which are a really important partner for not only government but particularly for my department in the promotion of equality and opportunity in society, that works on issues that particularly impact unemployed people or underemployed people. We've had a long and very constructive and cooperative relationship with the department and the INOU, and I know that, and that's not just me saying it, because you guys say it back. And actually I think that the relationship and the work that we do together that we cooperate on is extremely valuable and it's extremely important. I want to also say that the INOU are a member of the Labour Market Council, which is specifically tasked with the government's Pathways to Work programme, which we see is working. So I want to just publicly thank you for that. Anne mentioned that the recovery is evident in the live register figures, and yes, they did last month go below 6%, and that is absolutely deadly. And we all know, and we can see in society, that normal people are now finally feeling small bits of the recovery over and above hearing people like me a couple of years ago saying that the recovery was evident. I think people are now starting to feel it. Last month alone, the employment numbers fell by 4,100, and it's 16,700 since this year. And I know when we sat down last year to do our budget figures, and actually I thought we were ambitious with targeting a specific number to drop off the unemployment register this year. I'm now, I suppose, buoyed up by the fact that that target, even though it was ambitious, is probably going to be realised. And I look forward to the numbers continuing to drop and continuing to drop, because it's the first time that we're below 6%. But Anne is genuinely pointing to the reality that we now have 220,000 plus people on the live register, and we know 100,000 of those people are transient, and they come on and they come off, and they're just in between jobs for a small amount of time. But we absolutely know that there are a very, very, very large number of people who are on the live register and remain so for reasons that potentially that we are not addressing. And I think forums like this are exceptionally important so that I can hear from your real life experiences as to what I need to do. And we've spoken about some old initiatives this morning that may need to be reignited, but what we need to do to recognise the barriers to work that those real Irish citizens that need our support and services actually may need and require. And Anne is right, it's now I need to hear that, because during the summer months, and specifically in September, that I'll be sitting down with Pascal Donoghue looking for my share of whatever we're calling that big pot of money that we have next year to spend. And I want to make sure that it's those 120, 140,000 people that have real separation from their own lives to the workplace and work society, even if it's only in a small way. I want to be able to address those issues in the coming budgets. The priorities that were set out in our programme for government is the development of work activation, is the development of training, whether it's short-term training courses, long-term educational degrees, diplomas, masters. We want to be in a position to be able to offer a complete plethora, for want of a better word, of lifelong supports for people in the workplace. You may have heard that we launched our pensions reform plan yesterday, which most people under the age of 55 or 60 don't even think about, because you kind of think it's years and years away. But we want to support in our department everybody from when they're 16, when they first can start working, right up to 66 when they can end working. We all know that the work-life balance is incredibly important, but we also know that the traditionality of somebody getting a job like my dad did when he was 15 in the ESB and not retired till he was 65 is nearly long gone. And people will have different careers, maybe multiple careers over the course of their lifetime. It's up to our department, the Department of Education, to make sure that we provide the supports and services, that we have lifelong learning, retraining whenever people need it. But we couldn't do it without the direct impact of the work on the ground that not only the INOU do, but every single organisation that you here represent today. And I want to genuinely and publicly thank you for the work that you're doing. I want to acknowledge the feedback that I'm going to get back from today of what is required in the coming months and years. And I don't know how long it's going to take us to get that 140,000 number down, but I'm absolutely adamant that working together that we're going to do it. So one of my favourite sayings, and this is true of all politicians, is that we're all cocky as hell and we think we're deadly, but there's no monopoly on wisdom. And without the real life experience and the reality of what's going on the ground fed back to the people like me and the people in my department who actually make the decisions to bring new initiatives to the table to help you do your job better in supporting the people in your communities, I need to hear what you're going to discuss today.